Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be getting ready for a day of errands, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about my favorite book while I'm getting ready. So if you enjoy that type of stuff or want to learn some tips and tricks about makeup, then stay tuned. This video is just for you. And please subscribe. Just go down below, hit subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Today we are going to be trying out, I have a sample of the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric, and I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I'm going to give it a try and see how it works. Now, I have already hydrated my face. Everything's on here that needs to go, and I don't really prime. I put a little bit of a primer underneath the eyes. I'm trying it out today. It is the Line Smoother Primer. It is by Amazing Cosmetics. And it has this cool little balls on it. Feels good. Hole in the center for the product to come out. Love it. Alright, so I've already got that underneath my eyes. I'm going to go in with a brush to apply the sample of the Power Fabric to my face. It's a pretty thick consistency. Doesn't look like a lot of it would be, I mean, it's not really moving anywhere, so even when I have it tilted, it's not really going anywhere. Basically just using a brush that I'm going to dot all this on. And I'll try one side with a brush and the other side with a sponge to see what kind of coverage we get from this, guys. Now, I have always been a huge Giorgio Armani fan. Here we go. We're going to be using the e.l.f. blending brush. It has a round, fluffy part of it. So, let's try this out and see how it works on this side. That's actually looking quite nice. So sometimes with my foundations, they turn out too yellow. It's like they try to overcompensate. I don't know. So let's go in with this side with the Beauty Blender. I'm using the Sonia Kashuk Beauty Blender. If you ever get the chance, it is an amazing beauty blender. Basically just tapping this in. I'm going to scoot my mirror closer so that I can get a little bit more detail of what's going on here. Nice. Okay, so I'm looking and it looks like there's not that much of a difference between them both. I definitely have less coverage with the brush side, but with this side it looks really good. So I'm going to go in and just pat that in, soften it down. I feel like I need a little bit more right here. It's a little bit of a light coverage right there. Okay, just some light places. And then whatever product I have on, I'm just going to bring that down my neck just to get it off the brush. Alright. So much better. It is really soft looking. I'm really impressed by how soft looking that it is. Okay, and as for my concealer today, I'm going to go with, I'll just put it right where my face is, Tarte Shape Tape. I'm just going to dot some underneath there, kind of pat it in. Going with the other side. And I'm basically just tapping really fast to get that in there. Same to this side. I like to get the inner corners really well with the concealer, just because I tend to, if my eyes get watery, that's the place it tends to come off. So, all right, now that I have that on, we are going to set the under eye area. I'm going to be setting it with the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Illumination, and it is translucent. It is very, very, very pale, but it is also really, really pretty. And I'm going to get that set before it decides to wrinkle up on me. And I'm just going to tap that in. Okay, and then for the foundation, I may set it just lightly in the places that I tend to get oily or that I know will crease throughout the day. So I'm going to go ahead and do that too. I'm going to use my little velour puff. It's just stained. And let me go in with some Laura Mercier translucent powder. It is one of my favorites. And I'm just going to go in really light and just around the nose and around the mouth. And I'm just going to push that into my skin very lightly around my chin area. Just places that I know that during the day will become separated. I'm going to do my eyebrows. I always do my eyebrows before I do anything else, only because I like to shape my eyebrows and figure out where this helps me figure out where my eyeshadow needs to go. So it does give me a little bit of an opportunity to give me more space on the outside of my eyebrows. So I'm going to use a brush just to get them into an ideal shape. Okay, so what I brought with me today to talk about is my favorite book. Since this is going to be my first YouTube video, I thought, what do I want to share? And because I've always wanted to talk about makeup and help others. So anyway, I don't have the perfect skin. And I thought, when I went on YouTube, and I've always watched YouTube videos, I love them. I love all the people that are on them. But it's really hard to find someone with really pale skin and problematic skin. Find out, oh, what's the best foundation for someone who is my skin tone? I have to give props to, on this subject, that Taylor. She is amazing. I am completely enamored with her, along with Toddy. Both of them are my favorite beauty gurus. I follow them, watch all their videos, and so I get the best of both worlds from both of them. And so I decided, let's go on here and let's start making videos, and I'm going to teach some tips and tricks that I've learned over the years as a cosmetologist, as a beauty lover, and someone who's been involved in makeup professionally and as an amateur for the past 20-something years. And so I'm going to bring some of my favorite loves and passions together, which brings me on to my next subject. This beauty is my favorite book. It is my favorite book. I have been in love with this book for the past 15 years, I think. Let me see. It was released in 2006, 2007. And I think that is when I first purchased my first copy. Was about around that time. So yeah, 10, 11, 12 years ago. I love this book. This is absolutely, so I probably should say, upon getting ready, we're going to discuss books and just cool things that I'm into. Since I love to read, I thought, I'll share some of my favorite books with you guys while we're getting ready. It'll be like, hey, I'm getting ready. Let's talk about this. Okay, so I read a lot of paranormal romance. I read a lot of fantasy, young adult. I love reading. It's almost always fantasy related. Fantasy meaning that I love my imagination. I have a crazy imagination. I love my imagination. And I live in my imagination most of the day. So reading fantasy books for me just fuels that inner fire that I have. So anyway, Karen Marie Moning, Dark Fever, but it's the Fever series. I'm going to read the back. So when Michaela's sister was murdered, she left a single clue to her death, a cryptic message on Mac's cell phone. Journeying to Ireland in search of answers, Mac is soon faced with an even greater challenge, staying alive long enough to master a power she had no idea she possessed, a gift that allows her to see beyond the world of man into the dangerous realm of the Fae. As Mac delves deeper into the mystery of her sister's death, her every move is shadowed by the dark, mysterious Jericho, while at the same time the ruthless Blaine, an alpha fae who makes sex an addiction for human women, closes in on her. As the boundary between worlds begin to crumble, Mac's true mission becomes clear: to find the elusive Sinshar Doob before someone else claims all the powerful dark book, because whoever gets to it first holds nothing less than a complete control of both worlds in their hands. So, Sinshar Doob. I'm not exactly sure how to say that, however. Okay, so this is about a girl named Michaela Lane who goes to Ireland in search of finding her sister's murderer. She runs into a bookstore and meets with Jericho Barons, and the story pursues further from that. It is unlike any book I've ever read. It is so much my favorite that after it came out, I just became so enamored with the whole series that Karen Marie Moning, the author, was in Cincinnati, Ohio doing like meetups. So I met up with her. I got her autograph. One of the happiest days ever. The best part of it is at the time I had one of the very first ebook readers that were ever brought out onto the market. And so I had her sign my ebook reader as well, and it was the very first ebook reader she had ever signed. You can tell I love to read. So I have a Kindle now, but this was the greatest thing ever for like the first 5 to 10 years. It was so hard to find books for it though, because of the fact that nobody had ebooks. It was so hard to find books for it, but it was the best. It was the best. So I will forever keep this because of the fact that she signed it. And so yeah, if you ever get the chance to read this book, it takes place in Ireland, which I love anything Ireland. Anybody who knows me knows that it is one of my favorite things. And it's about Michaela Lane. She's from Georgia. Gets a crazy phone call from her sister, but she misses the phone call, so it goes to voicemail. So her sister leaves a voicemail, and she listens finally to the voicemail because her phone was in getting worked on or getting repaired or something. I don't know. She got it wet. I don't remember. But she gets the phone call and the voicemail and decides to take off to Ireland to see if she can find her sister's murderer, because she says that nobody in Ireland is really helping her or her parents figure out who the murderer is. So she gets over to Ireland, and there's a lot of things that take place and happen once she gets there. But one of the things is, she gets lost walking around Ireland, and when she goes and gets lost, she starts walking down this road, and there's this one building that's on the road that is lit up like lights all the way around it, and past it, it's almost like there's all the roads are like not lit. There's like litter everywhere. So immediately past this building is like dead. So this building was the bookstore. So it's Barron's Books and Baubles. And so she goes into there because she's lost and she's looking up information and she's trying to, you know, just trying to figure out stuff. She's just running around Ireland. And so the story really starts there. The Fever series, I think, is 4 or 5 books now. Probably should look that up. Dark Fever, Blood Fever, Fey Fever, Dream Fever, Shadow Fever, Fever Moon, Iced, Burned, Fever Born, Fever Song, and High Voltage. I have not read High Voltage. That's on my to-do. So I was completely mistaken about how many books were in that series. They're just so good that you just start reading them one after another and you forget like how many there are. Hands down, the greatest book series. So I recommend that if you get a chance. Okay, now that I've got my eyebrows on, I'm going to put on some eyeshadow. And as for the eyeshadow, I am using my Make It Forever custom palette. This is pink graphite. I don't know what the other colors are, but I will list them below. This is one of my favorite. I customized this just around that whole pink graphite shadow, so I'm going to list the names below since I don't have access to them at the moment. Okay, I'm going to take my large fluffy brush. This is a Lamora all over shader in 111. And I'm actually going to go in with this MAC color. I don't know the color of it either, but I will find out and list it. This is just going to go all over my lid. So do you guys have favorite books? What are they? If you have any recommendations on what I need to read, please list them below because I love to read books. Right now I'm reading, and we'll, on another Get Ready With Me, we'll talk about it. But right now I am reading The Red Queen, and it's by Victoria Aveyard, and I am really enjoying it. Surprisingly good. Alrighty, got that. Now I'm going to go in with this taupe right there. Just on the outside, I'm going to be using another Lamora brush. This is the blending brush. It's just a fluffy brush. And just go into my crease with the taupe. It's like a taupe matte. A very matte taupe color. So putting it down as my transition color. Such a nice light color that it works really well as a transition color. And I'm just blending that, blending it. Okay, now I'm going to go in with my Luxie 239 Precision Shadow Brush and just kind of with this darker, go into this outer edge and just pack that color in there to and drop my brush. Just to open my eyes up some. I have wonky eyes. They're not really wonky, but they're really big. This one tends to hang down. See that? So, I like to put some product in there. Let it get lost. No, but for real, it does take some of that away. You just want to make sure that you go right above it to kind of disguise where that crease is. When you do that, it helps open up the eyes. So one of the things that I'm excited about doing this is to inspire others to be kind and to be loving and to uplift each other, because in this world there's not enough. It's not enough of that. So I don't know. I think everybody should spend a few hours in the woods a week. I think that right there is what's wrong with people. So yeah, my channel is going to be all about uplifting, humorous, because I'm hella funny. And no drama. Everything that I tell you will 100% be the truth. Like, first off, I suck at lying. I've never been good at it. Ask anybody. I'm not very good at lying. So when I'm telling you guys about products or things that I've experienced, I am back. Sorry. My camera died. So I had to like go charge up the battery and then come back. Okay, so now I'm going to apply some eyeliner. I'm going to apply the Brown Sway from Merle Norman. I will also list all my products below that I use. I'm going to be putting this on the outside corner of my eyes and dotting just a small amount underneath right into my lash line. I don't want to do too much underneath just because when I do that it kind of closes it all up. I'm going to use a shader brush from Mary Kay. This is just an eye shader. It has a very short little nub at the end. Really good at just getting in there. Honestly, I'm just trying to make the eyelashes on the lower look thicker. And then on the upper, just blending that out just a hair. This shader brush can really go to town if you want it to. I don't want it to today. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so next, I'm going to go in with my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in Perversion. I'm going to go just in the upper. If you mess up, like I do all the time, get you a Q-tip, clean it up. And that's going to make your lashes look thicker and darker as well. I don't do the lower as much as I used to just because it does kind of close everything off and it's really, really black. So that can be a hot mess for someone who's as pale as I am. Alright, next I'm going to go in with the Voluminous Mascara and just do a light dusting over the eyes since I'm just going to be running errands today. I don't want to do anything too crazy. Let me move my mirror so that I can actually see what I'm doing. For a drugstore mascara, it is phenomenal. Okay, so apparently my battery died and I didn't have enough time for it to recharge because I had to go and run some errands. But I'm back now, so I'm going to finish up where we kind of left off at and finish it up. Let's get started. So for my contouring area, I'm going to use a combination of this. This is BC Superglow. I really like it. It works really, really well. Sometimes I'll even use like this brush. This is the e.l.f. contouring brush. What I will typically do is go from the top of the ear, just like that, top of the ear down towards my cheek, and I line it up with, you know, my mouth. Now I have really high cheekbones, so I have to be very careful with contouring because if I come in too far, it looks a little gray. And also what I normally try to do, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but there's this space right here, and I will typically go in with almost a lighter shade and kind of pull that down. Okay, and I'm just going to tap that in on my forehead. Tap that in on the forehead. And I bring it all the way around real lightly right here because that area is already inward. So I have a very heart-shaped face, so it's not really any reason to do a whole lot right through here except right there. And I will typically take a pointed brush. This is the e.l.f. blush brush. I'm telling you, it works really good because of the tip to go down on the nose. I mean, do you see that? Like, it's pretty And that's why I like the ombre, because you can go really dark or you can go kind of light. And almost every color in this powder is darker than me. So it works out really well. Okay, so now that I've got that on, I'm going to use another brush to kind of just blend it all in. Just a flat kabuki will work. This one says Bestope. Got it off of Amazon. Kind of don't even want to show you it because I don't think they're all that great. But, so basically going to blend.
The key to contouring and highlighting is to blend so that it doesn't even look like you're able to see it in person. That is the absolute key.
And sometimes you can spend forever blending. Forever. Like, your hands start hurting. But it does make for beautiful photography. Next, highlight. I'm going to be using the Warm Nude Physician Formula highlighting. I love it. I'm using a Merle Norman cheek blush. Yes, it is completely destroyed. I've had it for 15 years. It's phenomenal. I just hot glue them back together because I'm so in love with them. And when I worked at Merle Norman, their brushes were really horrible at the beginning. And they went to MAC and was like, can you make our brushes? And so MAC made the brushes, and they are, I don't know if they still do, but they are phenomenal. So add a little bit right there. And I'm only going to add just a little because I'm going to add my blush over it just to have a little bit of that shimmer with that blush. And then I'll go back in and add some more. For my blush, I'm using a customized cheek color with Make It Forever. I'm in love with this. This is a very pink coral, peachy coral blush. And I typically would never reach for a peachy coral. Typically I do more of a mauve, or most of the time my blushes are very like pink or mauve. And I saw this one on Make It Forever when I was building my custom palette and got really excited to try it, so got it, and I'm in love. I use an e.l.f. Flawless Face Brush to apply it. I like that it's thin and then thick. So I just can go like this and get that on there. Just a light dusting and pull it down. Light dusting, pull it down. And what I'll do then is just kind of go back over top of it and bring it into the edge of the eye. Back over top of it, bring it into the edge of the eye. I don't bring it all the way down. There's no reason to do that. Then I dust just a small little smidge right there and right here to kind of bring that up and really bring my arches up. Then I will go down the center of my nose and then boop, 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 boop. That's what I always feel like when I do it. Like, ta-da! Sometimes I'll just like right there. I really don't even know why I do that. Okay, so next I'm gonna go in. I just want just a little bit of something right here in the inner corner of my eye. So I'm gonna take that same highlighter and I'm gonna take the Lamora Precision Round with a little bit of this white and pink, and I'm just gonna tap that in right there. I mean, do you see that? Do you see how ridiculous that is? That's pretty potent. It's pretty powerful. Wouldn't you say? It's pretty nice. Okay. I'm going to go back over everything, make sure it's all juicy and good. Okay, now that that's done, my next step is going to be lips. Let's go in with a lip stain. This is Revlon Balm Stain in the color Sweetheart Valentine. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is gorgeous. And that feels good. It's got a little bit of the spearmint smell to it. That's nice. I like this. This is lovely. Then usually anytime I have lipstick on, because my lips are so dry, so chapped all the time, I'm going to go in with this Mojito Lip Balm. It is by Malin plus Goetz. I'm going to assume that's how you say it. Anyway, it's just a clear, it's very gel-like, it's almost like a gloss. And drench those bad boys in some gloss, and it feels so lovely, so good. Alright guys, that is it. That is my look. Let me go ahead and scoot back. Let me autofocus. This is it. Okay, so out of everything, I am really enjoying, I've had this foundation on for about 4 hours now since the battery decided to die. And I don't know if you can tell, but it looks, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but yeah, it looks nice. I like the way it feels. It still feels good. Even when I came back, it looked fine. Didn't look crazy. So anyways, thank you for spending that time with me, and I hope that you were able to get something out of it. I hope that you will take a chance to go and read this little beauty and just enjoy being. You know, we all live in this world where things are crazy and hectic and scary, and it's just every day, go take a walk in the woods. Release all that stress, all that tension, and just live in your beauty and your imagination. Thank you so much and have a beautiful day. Subscribe below if you enjoyed this and want to see more, because I have more books, because I love to read. Alright, bye you guys.